Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 Division II preseason All-American team. Now, there's many players across the country that are worthy of being on this list. Let's just jump right into this video by taking a look at our first team All-Americans, starting with the quarterback position.
Quarterback Kevin Rogers out of Henderson State is the pivot man behind one of the most prolific offenses in Division II. Last year, Rogers threw for over 4,800 yards and 40 touchdowns, which made him a finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy and also Great American Conference Offensive Player of the Year. You can't hit what you can't catch, and defenders had a tough time finding and tackling Southwest Minnesota State's running back Tyler Tonderum, who was a consensus All-American after rushing for over 2,100 yards and 19 touchdowns. Both were school records. Don't let the size fool you. Findlay's Daquan Ford can definitely carry the load. Ford scored 24 touchdowns last season for Findlay, and his best day came against Lake Erie, where he ran for 317 yards on 44 carries. A two-time All-American, wide receiver Trevor Harmon out of Shippensburg averaged 129 yards a game last year and has put up amazing production over the course of his career by grabbing 223 receptions and scoring 50 touchdowns. Darius Davis is one of the most explosive wide receivers in the country. He's already the school's all-time career leader in receiving yards as well as touchdowns, and his game reminds me a lot of Sterling Sharp and what he can do before and after the catch. Grand Valley State's tight end Jamie Potts is a tremendous athlete and is your quintessential new age flex tight end. Outside of his excellent receiving skills, Potts also excels on the baseball diamond for the Lakers. Cole Manhart is a big-time tackle prospect out of Nebraska Kearney. At 6'6", 305 pounds, Manhart dominates in the running game and was voted first-team All-MIAA last year. Tuskegee's Matthew Reese is a versatile offensive lineman. He can play guard or center and be equally as effective. It's his athleticism that has NFL scouts hovering around the Tigers campus this year. Playing in a triple option offense and being a bit undersized didn't stop center Joe Ray from constantly grading out in the 90% area last season for lenoir-rhyne. Ray wins with quickness and technique and is one of the top centers in Division II. Jack Abercrombie has gotten significantly better each and every year for Cal PA, and last season for the Vulcans, Abercrombie was not only one of the most dominant interior offensive linemen in PSAC, but also in the country. A two-time all-conference performer, Casey Beck from Upper Iowa, displays very good footwork and pass protection, showing good balance against both speed and power rushers. Justin Houston out of Tusculum was the Pioneers' leading receiver last year with over 1,300 yards, averaging 134 yards a game, and also the leading kickoff returner, gaining 565 yards and bringing one back to the house. Definitely worthy of a first-team All-American designation. Now here's a look at our preseason second-team Division II All-Americans and some great talent on this list as well. Jeff Sebo out of Pittsburgh State should put together another fine season in the backfield. And I like what I see out of Derek Schatz out of Westchester. 6'3", 290, a guy that has NFL potential, excels on both ends of offense, dominates in the running game, and shows excellent awareness in recognizing blitzes and stunts in the passing game. Northwest Missouri State's Matt Longacre was an MIAA Defensive Player of the Year. He's a defensive player that's always around the football and one who always has the ball in his hands. Last year, Longacre led the team in sacks with 11.5 and TFLs with 19.5. Charles Tuwau at 6'5", 310 pounds is a rare defensive tackle that's able to not only be stout versus the run, but also get pressure on a quarterback. Tuwau was a defensive player last year in the Lone Star Conference with 25 TFLs and 12.5 sacks. Craig Atkins has been a starter since his freshman season at Western Oregon, and you can understand why when you watch him play. Atkins' 70 tackles last season from the defensive tackle spot earned him the GNAC Defensive Lineman Player of the Year. CSU Pueblo's Darius Allen led the nation in sacks last year with 15.5. With the speed and acceleration to get around the edge, look for Allen to either duplicate or exceed last year's numbers. Ronnell Williams out of Westchester is a very good inside linebacker. His football IQ puts him in position to consistently make plays and finished 2013 with 60 solo stops and 9.5 TFLs. Linebacker Isaiah Fleming is an explosive tackler. He's able to read, redirect, react with the best of them in the country and should push for National Defensive Player of the Year honors. Urbana's linebacker DeGary Wallace was all over the field last year for the Blue Knights, racking up 114 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2.5 sacks, and was also named first team all-conference. Fresh off of being named CIAA Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2012, Boise State's cornerback Curtis Pumphrey had a sensational 2013 season, picking off 5 passes and averaging 5 tackles a game. At some point, opposing quarterbacks will learn to avoid throwing the ball. Jamarius Brown's way, the 5'9", 167-pound cornerback from Walsh University, intercepted 5 passes and had 12 pass breakups en route to being named All-GLIAC. The ball-hawking Colin Kimball put together an impressive 2013 season, taking 2 of his 6 interceptions back for touchdowns, and he also got better versus the run, being in on 40 solo stops. A 2-time all-conference performer, strong safety John Strickland puts fear in the hearts of receivers going across the middle of the field and has been an integral part to the Greyhounds' success during the course of his career. Now here's a look at our preseason second-team Division II All-Americans. Keep an eye on Javonte Williams out of Johnson C. Smith. Another outstanding edge rusher at 6'2", 245 could transition to an outside linebacker at the next level. And I'm a big fan of Isaiah Davis out of Central Washington, a 5'10", 175-pound junior, doesn't let size get in the way of his playmaking abilities. And former Pitt Panther safety Eric Williams transferred down to Indiana, PA, and has done a great job so far, put together a very solid career, and still is on the radar of many NFL scouts. Now let's look at our special team All-Americans, starting with kicker Brent Well out of Ohio Dominican. He was a steady, accurate weapon, connecting on 21 of 25 field goals last year, earning all-conference honors. Patrick Carney out of New Mexico Highlands was one of the best punters in the nation last year, averaging 45 yards a punt, which definitely helps out a defense in being able to pin offenses back near the goal line. Running back LaVance Taylor out of Central Missouri was absolutely spectacular last year for the Mules, both in the backfield and as a kickoff returner, averaging a whopping 35 yards a return. C.J. Davis led the nation as a freshman in both punt return yardage with 448 and average yard return with 24.9, making him instant offense for the Shepherd Rams. Now here's our second team preseason All-Americans. You look at Jamie McGee out of Arkansas Monticello as a freshman last season, connected on 17 of 19 field goals, making him second in the country as far as accuracy is concerned, and I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward. And we have to get some coaches to coach this All-American team. And fresh off a national championship, Adam Durrell from Northwest Missouri State is the head coach of our All-American team. Durrell, in 3 seasons at Northwest Missouri State, has compiled a 37-6 record, and his teams are always in contention for titles. Henderson State's Mike Volarovich is the man behind the dynamic Reddy's offensive attack, and under his tutelage, 11 players have earned all-conference honors, 4 All-American honors, and 5 have become all-region players. The Reddies averaged 50 points a game and were 3rd in total offense last year with 516 yards per game. That's definitely worthy of being the offensive coordinator on this list. You won't find a better defense than the Shepherd Rams, and that's why Josh Klein makes our list as the defensive coordinator. Klein's defense held opponents to 15 touchdowns in 12 games, ranking 2nd in total defense, and only gave up 1.9 yards a carry on the ground. The Rams were 3rd in the nation in pass defense as well, holding opponents to only 50% completion percentage at 5.2 yards per attempt. Valdosta State's head coach David Dean makes our squad as the recruiting coordinator. His Blazer teams are always well stocked with talent, and in some cases NFL talent. It's the reason why Valdosta State has won 2 national titles under Dean and has been in the playoffs 4 out of the 7 seasons with a winning record each and every year. That says a lot about Dean's ability to recruit top talent.